You'll know in 10 years.
Welcome back. We're talking with Tonette Madison from the Boone County Heritage
We're
Museum.
exploring all kinds
Great
of stuff.
conversation
Going
during
everywhere.
the break. Sorry about all that.
That's okay.
From my
okay.
Now,
past
you're
history.
gonna, if you go, you're going to have to say something about
Do
what
what?
you're apologizing for.
Oh, well, I can tell.
Go ahead. You.
Back when we were talking
Love it.
that first time I met Tonette, you
20
were
years ago, I guess.
Was it 20 years ago?
Yes.
She was looking for a job, and I had talked to her, and we liked what you were going to bring
but
to
you didn't hire me.
This
Long
back when
story short.
was at Channel 8, and for some reason, when I found out she smoked, I said, "Nope, you're not going to work for
Let's
us."
just say I don't smoke anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, that was 20 years ago. So.
Well, oh well, that
And-
was back then, and
I think it's still a burr in somebody's side. I'm not sure.
whose side would that be?
Maybe 20. No.
That was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It
was a long time.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, we were talking. We want to talk a little bit about genealogy because you offer that service at
We
the
do.
at the Heritage Museum. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
We do a lot of that, and I really enjoy that part of it. If I
Mm-hmm.
could, that'd be all I do because so many people don't know. You know, I think you recently dug
Yeah,
into yours, and
yeah,
That's
you
been
helped me.
interesting to hear y'all's story there.
When we had talked about this, I guess last year sometime, you had brought a paper on one of my descendants who was in the not the Civil War, but the War of Independence, Revolutionary War. Yes, and he was a general.
yes,
And that
Yes.
was very odd to see all that. And give you a real quick story. Kelly and I went out this weekend and got a horse, and the gentleman that we got the horse from noticed that my last name was Reynolds, and he was talking to Kelly, and I overheard him, and he was saying, "Does your husband know this person?" It was his great aunt, but it was my great grandmother.
Oh my
Oh my
goodness.
gosh.
See?
And so we're related
How
to
neat is
this
that?
guy. It was just so bizarre. But you never know. And for people that have a heritage in this area that came here down the Mississippi and did homesteading and things like that, at some point in time you may be related
Oh,
and
absolutely.
not
Right.
really know.
Absolutely.
And I think you have some relations too like that too.
Oh
don't you?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, and that's part of what makes it so interesting is following those leads and strings and seeing how they all connect and come together. I know that I have relatives in Boxley, and they have had for since Boxley started, Boxley Valley, and I have a Walker grandfather over there who married a Campbell from the Kesey community in Marion County. And well, when I finally got to Marion County and to the cemetery where her relatives were buried, because she married him and moved, obviously, to Boxley, and I went to the Kesey Cemetery to look at her folks, and there are Whiteleys in there, which are all over Boxley. So
Wow.
I haven't investigated and gotten to the bottom of that, but it was very interesting. It's good, and it's all along the river, which is probably how they maybe traveled.
Yeah,
Right.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you offer as far as genealogy? How if people are interested, what can they do?
We have a service called Do You Know Who You Are? It's a little different than the other one you might have heard of, but you can walk in if you'd like to make an appointment, and we can do that. But we have just general admission visitors who come in and say, I think my great-grandfather lived here, and I just love to be able to walk over to the computer and within a few minutes say, this is where, this great-grandfather was in the Civil War, and this is what happened. For folks who don't know anything about that, to me, I can do it relatively quickly, and so it's not that hard. But if they haven't done it, you can show them how to do it, show them some tricks, and sort of teach them how to go about that, and open up a whole new world to them.
Now, you've helped Ann in her
Yeah,
quest,
that was a lot of fun.
and I don't
It really
even
was.
I don't even know the story.
No, you
wanna-
don't.
Do you want to?
Well, when you were on the show, I was like, I'm really, I have this, I want to know more about my birth family. And mine was, up front, was about medical information. And I wanted to know what, for my kids' sake and for mine, what might be out there that I needed to be aware of. So we started this with you found who my birth mother was.
How hard was that?
That was easy, relatively easy.
Okay.
It was. I took a DNA test,
Just
and
so
it
that
she
showed up.
popped up right
there
away.
was my
Yeah.
Ah.
my birth mother.
We knew her name, but
Now
then
she would have had to have DNA too, right?
She
she did.
Okay.
But she
did.
never went anywhere with it,
No,
which
she-
was the
Did
odd
she do
thing.
that for a reason?
We don't know.
Don't know?
But
Okay.
that gave us her name, and I was then able
Ah.
to flesh out her family. So and
What
got
did
some
you-
information.
what did you
about-
think?
What
when
did
you
what did
s-
I do with that
yeah,
too? You want to
what'd
know? I called her. She helped. We were able to find her phone, or I was through another service called Been Verified. Anyway, I found her phone number and I called her and spoke with her, which she, up front, Tonette said you need to be prepared for what you may find out,
Absolutely.
good or bad. So when I actually spoke with her, she didn't really offer any information to me that was helpful. But she also said that I had been a secret for, at this time, 57 years, and that, that she didn't want to change
So
that.
it was a secret. It was going to remain a secret from
Well,
her
yes,
side.
but I have since found in her family now, because
secret.
my birth family's father knew all about it. Anyway, so that was, and I asked her, I said, do you know anything about my birth father? And she had thought he had passed away. Okay, whatever. So then that door was shut. But I did get to at least speak with her and find out that the door was shut. I mean, it didn't just,
So she didn't want to pursue any kind of relationship with you
No.
whatsoever.
no. And I left her my name and number and said, if you ever do want to, then here is information you can contact me, but I will not contact you again. Because I don't want to mess up anybody's life.
Sure, yeah.
That was
Well,
not
she
my
made
goal.
a hard decision, and
She did,
wanted
and
to keep it
I wanted
secret.
what I wanted to tell her too, which I did not have that opportunity, was thank you for the decision you made,
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
am here, and I'm thankful for that. So in the meantime, that door shut, and then who's he over here? Finds. I had thought my name was I thought it was Kelly Wright. I thought that was my name. Well, she came up with Knight as my last
Well,
name.
it rhymed. It rhymed with what
And-
you've been told.
Oddly enough, when I spoke with my birth mother, she said they didn't even put a last name on my original birth certificate. So, who knows?
okay.
Who knows? I don't know. The truth's somewhere in
so,
there.
so what you do know who your
But I do know.
father is.
Yes, and she found it, and she sent my husband, actually,
I did.
the obituary, right?
Yes.
Isn't that what you sent
I
Richard?
contacted Richard because you had been told that he was gone.
Right.
If I can.
Please
sure, yeah.
interject.
She had been told that he was gone, so that door she thought was shut too. But we had the DNA and we were looking, and we had took sort of a break. And one Sunday I was just driven to, I don't know, diagram and go through her DNA and say, count, and if this is a second cousin, this has to be a first, and blah blah blah.
Okay.
And by power of deduction, I was really close. I worked the entire day, and the Monday morning I got up, and there he was. I just found him, and he had just passed. He
Oh,
had, yeah,
gosh, yeah.
he had not passed when she was told that he was
Oh,
passed.
goodness.
So I was a little and that's why I reached out to Richard, because I wasn't sure how Ann would take that, and we had talked about that.
Yeah.
I said, give me Richard's number in the beginning in case she had some rough news. But I got to say, she was prepared with her background. She has been such a trooper
Yeah,
for this.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
I told you earlier that it's so interesting, and everybody has a story. But Ann is, obviously doing what she should do,
Sure, yeah.
and being who she should be. And she has this tremendous story of how she got there. It's so interesting. But we found him, and I found an obituary, and it's one of the most beautiful. It's gorgeous. It even though he was gone, I still think that was a great way for her to meet him.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Oh, it told his story.
oh my
yeah.
goodness, and the similarities in their hobbies, and
Oh, really?
He
Yeah.
was he sang.
he sang, he
Oh,
played
he
sang.
piano.
Played the piano. He did community theater, and I was
Wow.
like, wow. This. I felt an immediate connection to this man who I will never have the opportunity to meet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I am a spiritual person, and I believe in God, and I've asked God to guide me through this whole quest. And I feel like he has. And I said, you know, shut a door if it needs to be shut, open the door if it needs to be open. Well, I felt driven to contact his sibling, his daughter. Mm-hmm. I didn't know if Andy was at that time, wasn't sure that was a boy or a girl. So I sent her a message, and I said, to the effect that I share some DNA with your father. Would you be willing to, you know, talk with me? Mm-hmm. She immediately, I mean, it wasn't that long. And
Interesting.
She sent back a message and said, is this real? And I wrote her back and I said, yes, this is very real. You know, and come to find out now that she had always dreamt that she would have a older sister sibling. So here I am, you know. Well, it is bizarre. And that she had been told since they were young, her and her brother, that the whole situation with my birth mother and their father, who I call their father, I mean, he's my birth father, but, you know, my adoptive parents were my parents. But so she was aware. They didn't know if I had been aborted or if I was, you know, living or what had happened. They knew about the situation. Okay. So he had shared that with his side of the family and with his wife.
So were you the first?
There was another sibling that passed away.
In the beginning?
Actually.
Okay.
That was before me, even.
Okay. But they were married, right?
Yes.
At the time.
But no, he and my birth mother were not married. He had purchased an engagement ring to give to her and decided not to for reasons that I'm not going to go into here. But she went to wherever there was a home back then where unwed mothers went to and had their baby, and then I was placed in a loving home, which, you know, I don't ever want to take anything away from my parents, who are my adoptive parents, but they're my parents. I mean, they're who raised me, you know. But it was always probably a little curiosity as a kid about birth family, but when I had children of my own, it really was more of a reason to want to know more about history and anything like that.
I think it's good that we have that in us to want to know our history, our past.
I think
good or bad.
It's a program.
I have a grandfather that was in prison. Yeah. You know, it's like
a reason for it, though. Well, probably at the same time as Merle Haggard, so you got that.
There you go. Maybe they were buds.
One of the first things I sent her was a picture of, I think, her great-great-grandfather, a split screen with one of her sons, and it's just eerie.
Yeah, it was eerie, the resemblance.
Was eerie.
Oh, really? Cool.
But back to your adoptive parents, I think that they gave her such a, you know, if you're thinking about doing this, this is a grown-up thing to do, because you have no idea which way it can go and the twists and turns that it can take. And her adoptive parents gave her roots and grounding. And
you lucked out, girl.
She has really just handled it expertly. I mean, just wonderfully. Yeah.
And it's interesting now, because I will probably send this to my birth sister and let her watch this. But it's interesting, and I've told her, I said, I kind of have to navigate through this now, because it's a lot of information, and I want to meet them, but I haven't been quite ready for that yet, you know? And it's learning about each other, and I don't know that I can even verbalize that feeling, but it's kind of a distance, yet I want to know more. I still feel quite distanced.
Oh, absolutely.
In that. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just.
But the history that it handed to you, and the people in their ancestors and yours, and if you take any one of them out of the equation, you're a different person.
Right.
So now you have the whole picture.
Right.
And all the players.
So it's been an interesting journey. No, I don't.
Yeah.
You know, and my birth sister's mother she's kind of come up with a list of what I originally wanted, which was some health information. You know, you have to be prepared there too for what you might find out, but still. So it's just an interesting journey that I'm still on, and I'm going to continue. It's going to grow.
So you were on the job, and you took control.
She is awesome.
We did it. We found him. And the irony was in that he had been gone just a short amount of time.
Yeah.
very short amount of time.
Oh.
And I hated that. But again, I think that obituary was the way it was meant to be.
I
it
think
was
so, too.
absolutely perfect. Perfect, I think, for her to get to know him. And when we're gone, that's pretty much all that's left. I get
Yeah.
lots of boxes at the museum. We're going to fit in a box. Your box
bet.
may be bigger, it may be
Yeah.
littler, but there are a
Yeah.
few things that's going to be left in your box. And so she got the synopsis really quickly,
Right.
and it was a good one.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
I have no regrets. And don't do it. Don't if you don't think you're ready for it, don't do it.
No.
You know?
That's the first thing I said. Now, if you don't want to find them, let's not do this.
You're right. Right.
But she
Be
did,
prepared.
and we did.
and
It was a slow process, and so I think we didn't rip it off really fast, but I think it happened.
It's
exactly.
all played out the way it was supposed to. Be. It's
Exactly.
still playing
Yes.
out, so.
Exactly. And it's just so interesting. So interesting. But everybody has that story. Ann's has a few more caveats. But if you don't know yours, we can help you find
Right.
that, and put those pieces in, because that's true for everybody. That history, if you change one iota, you're not the person that
Right.
you should be.
Right.
I did a talk about that at the Elk Festival this past year, and all my ancestors, and I went from like the early, maybe late 1700s, and where they all were, and they're all in Europe and across the sea, and if any one of them doesn't move the way they're supposed to, we went like 20 years, if they don't get where they're going, I don't happen. So we sort
Right.
of told that story and got them there, and I had one who hung out in Sweden until like 1887. Everybody else is here and ready to go, and he's still in Sweden. If he doesn't make it, then I'm not here.
That's an integral part.
Yes, exactly.
Very interesting.
Yeah. for
So
sure.
if people are interested, they contact you? or-
Certainly, they can call us at the museum, 870-741-3312. We'd be glad to help you. I'd love to do that for people.
She's very passionate about it and very good at
I
it.
think that our history, like Dan said, does mean something. I think that's why I'm so passionate about it. You can't be that way about it and not. It just always has.
Well, it's been good to have you on the show. Thank you.
you.
Did you
It's
want
been good to be here.
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I think we've hit it all.
Have we hit it all? This
I
is
think
all
so.
there is to know
We
about
did it
Tonette
all
right
and
now.
more.
Come to trivia Thursday night.
Thursday
6:30
night, and that's any Thursday, right?
Any Thursday,
At
6:30
the
we'll be
Hotel
there.
Seville.
Yes.
In the big ballroom area, I guess.
Yes,
Area. That's where-
$5. Have a
$5
good
and
time.
bring a team, and of course it's $5 a person.
That's
not-
right,
Not
yeah.
per team. Anyway, have a good time. Get some of that great food down there too.
Yes, it's awesome.
Get their
Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts.
Have you
I've
had them?
tried
Oh my
those.
goodness,
They're
they're not.
good.
They were not on the menu the last time, but we
They're
always.
they're never on the menu.
No,
I think
they're
it's
not
a
on the menu.
secret that
It's a
Jose just
side
keeps.
vegetable.
And
yeah.
he seasons those, and it just.
I'm not sure they're legal,
to,
but they're
they're
good.
to die. Well, I don't think they're legal either.
crack.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tonette. Appreciate.
Thank
Come
you.
back
Thanks for having
anytime.
me.
You
Thanks
bet.
for having me.
You bet. And we'd like to thank everyone watching out there today. If you'd like to be on the show, you can do that very easily. You can contact us here at Hometown TV, K26 TV, at 400 South Sycamore, right here in Harrison, Arkansas.
Just show up.
Just show up, come in, and sit down, drink some coffee, and the gang's all here.
Shoot the
We'll have
breeze
to-
with you.
That's right. Also, you can call us at 870-741-4891. We have a Facebook page. It's Hometown Television. Just search that. And we do have those old-style web pages. It is hometowntv.net. If you'd
You
like
can
to be on
watch
the
this
show.
show on the website as well.
You can on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel, Hometown Television. Thanks for watching. Get a hold of us. We'll see you again next time.